Have you ever wondered if that wood floor is actually wood, or if there's something hiding beneath the surface of those vinyl floor planks? With a near-infrared spectrometer, you can answer these questions. So one day before leaving LA, I was like a chemist on a side quest, crouching on the floor, analyzing different parts of the lumber yard inside of Home Depot, as well as the vinyl flooring in the flooring department. Although near-infrared spectroscopy sounds fancy, it's essentially a special light that can interact with molecules, causing those molecules to vibrate. Let me show you. In this video, you can see the light turns on and causes the molecules to heat up and vibrate. Those vibrations can be interpreted as another light source that will then be focused and sent to the detector. From there, we will create these special chemical fingerprints that with tools like Python can recognize those patterns and help us to understand what's going on with the chemicals. Because of the compositional differences between wood and vinyl planks, we expect these chemical fingerprints to be quite different, almost as different as a tree is from a plastic bottle. So with a small handheld device like this, we can do quite a bit of chemistry, even on the floor of Home Depot or Lowe's. So why even do this experiment in the first place? Well, I enjoy trying to understand the world around me through a chemical lens. And so because we know wood is living, it's natural, it has a different chemical backbone, we do expect it to be very different from the vinyl planks. As well as we can start understanding different quality indicators of the vinyl, such as the wear layer, how long this vinyl might last, as well as trying to maybe even one day classify the type of wood we have, whether we have an oak floor, a maple floor, or even fir. And so the best way to test some of this sometimes is to go to where those samples can be held. So whether you're going to Target to look at different t-shirts or Home Depot to look at those samples directly, with portable spectroscopy, you can do just that. So let's start looking at some of the data to see what we found as we did this experiment in the store. So initially, the data is unprocessed and does require some signal processing to help us understand what those features are, but we can already see very quickly that there are two different classes of data. We have one with peaks around 1700, and then we have another one where we have peaks around 1900 and 2100 nanometers. Now we're able to perform signal processing using Python and a number of different techniques like Sierpinski-Golay and standard normal variate to help smooth out this data and adjust for baseline differences. When we do that, we can see there are distinct differences between the lumber shown in blue and the vinyl shown in orange, where the vinyl is the sample with the peaks around 1700 nanometers, as well as another peak around 2300 or 2250 nanometers. And we have a prominent set of peaks in the lumber materials around 1900 nanometers and 1950. And I should note that the data I'm showing here has been processed also using a first derivative filter so that we can more clearly adjust the baseline and see the differences between these two classes. If we look at this data a little bit differently, we can see small differences between our different types of wood. So we have particle board shown in red. We have poplar shown in brown. We have oak in green, pine in purple, mahogany in orange, and our fir in blue. And with these different traces, we can see that we might even be able to predict what type of hardwood we have based on the chemical fingerprint after signal processing. Now, the pink data is all of the vinyl materials, and this spanned different quality classes. Let me show you how this data can also be further explored. In this figure, the authentic lumber is shown in blue, and in our red, orange, and green trace are the different vinyl materials that were tested in Home Depot. The red trace shown here is the lowest cost trace. This has the smallest wear layer, and the wear layer is an additional synthetic layer that's added to protect the core vinyl material. So this could be something like polyurethane or a different type of wax coat. In the orange trace, we have our 12 millimeter wear layer. So we've added more protection to this vinyl surface, ideally causing it to last longer and would be an indication of higher quality material. And in the green trace, we have our premium material. We have our 22 millimeter wear layer. So this would be the highest end material that I tested in this data set. So within a single set of experiments, we can determine if we have lumber or vinyl. We might be able to predict if we have oak or maple. Additionally, we can build a regression to determine if we have a lower quality material or a higher quality. But here's the interesting thing. This is just the beginning of this experiment. We can already infer many differences visually by examining the different processed data. But what happens when we start applying machine learning to this data? I believe we're going to be able to easily predict if we have lumber or vinyl. And then even from there, we might be able to predict the material class, whether it's oak or maple, as well as the potential wear layer, if it is 6 millimeters or 22 millimeters. So that is exactly what we're going to do in part 2 as we start applying machine learning to this spectra data. If you want to be notified when that video comes out, like, comment, subscribe, and how else might you process this data? In any case, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.